Okay, so this is my wax warmer. It's not plugged in because my island doesn't have an outlet. I told my husband when we build our barndominium, I want an island with an outlet. And he does too. We both want an outlet on this island, but we don't have one. This is my wax warmer because I have 5 pounds of wax. I also have my little measuring cup because I have a total of, see how much this is, hold on. 4 pounds of soap base. I've got my soap mold. I do not have a candle mold. I do have a jar though, with a wick already set up. And I've got, let me see, the scents I want to use. Nope, not these. These are not the scents I want. That's wax, or soap. That's actually extra soap base that's melted. Here we go. So I want to use this one, the cotton, for the candle. And then, I don't know which flower I'm going to use yet, but I'm going to use one of them for the soap. We're not there yet, though. We have to set everything up first. Okay, so I've got my wax warmer plugged in over there, because that's where there was an open outlet. There's some open over there, too, but I'd have to move a bunch of stuff. And then that's my soap stuff. So we got to get everything ready. So that's already heating. My wax warmer is not. But that is because I want to get this soap started first. I also have a cutting board and a knife here to cut my soap on. Okay. So you got to break this off of the soap container right there and pull this up. Now, if you've never seen one of my videos before, getting soap out of this thing can be kind of a hassle. So what I do is I pull it on the sides to try and detach the soap from the sides, because that happens in the store. Probably happens when they package it. As it hardens to this. And then same thing on these sides. Just pull them to try and detach them as much as you can. And then it'll slide right out. And that's all of the oatmeal, because it's an oatmeal soap base. So all of the oatmeal sunk to the bottom. That's okay. And so we have that out now. So I'm going to cut one of the corners of my soap, or my wax. This is my soap. My wax bag. There we go. Just one of the corners like that. So now it looks stupid, so I gotta fix it and make it look not stupid. That's better. Okay. And we're gonna pour some into our wax warmer. Okay, so we're over here. Our wax warmer's right here. Our wax is right here. Let me pull it closer. Give me a sec. That's better. Okay, so we're gonna take the lid off of our wax warmer. I have some pink on the inside. That's not that big a deal. I have a little bit of pink on the inside, but I don't think it's gonna matter that much. It'll come out later. So you're gonna turn your wax warmer up to 185. There we go. And then you're gonna just pour in as much wax as you feel is right. I'm gonna pour in about that much. And then I'm gonna put the lid on. And it's not quite up to 185 yet, but it's warming up. And so I like to have it in there as it's warming up, because then as the wax warmer warms up, the wax is warming up as well and will melt a little bit faster. So while we wait on our wax to melt, let's get started on our soap base. So I'm going to take my knife, and I'm not going to cut a lot of it. Okay, so you can see my whole block of soap base here. I'm going to cut it right about here. Okay. This is the only thing I hate about soap base, is it likes to stick sometimes. There we go. Try not to cut yourself. And I like to put the rest of my soap base back when I am not cutting it or using it. I like to put it back. Just makes me feel a little more in control of my workspace. You don't have to do that. So we're going to cut this into smaller cubes. Now you don't have, you can skip that step if you just want to put it in your yeah, you can be using a wax warmer. If you either clean it really well or it's only dedicated to soap. I don't use that because it is dedicated to my wax. So my soap goes in my little measuring cup that came with it. So you can stick just that whole long thing in there, but you don't have to. I prefer to cut it up like that. So we need to decide if we want to do a color for our soap and our wax. Now my wax, like I said, has a little bit of pink in there. It's not that big a deal, but we're going to be doing a flower scent for our soap. And so we need to decide if we want a color. I don't think for cotton we're going to do a color for the candle. I think we're pretty much good on that. But I think for a flower scent, we should do a color. I think we're going to aim for a green this time. Either a green or this grape violet, whatever that means. We could also do this green or orange. We're probably going to do this green because I know that it won't turn out neon. I don't want a neon green soap, okay? I already have a neon yellow soap and I'm not happy with it at all. But that's a different story entirely. If you saw my last video, that makes perfect sense. If you didn't, let me know if you want me to do a story time for it, and I will, if you want it. If you don't want it, don't worry about it. I won't be offended. So I think we're going to go with this green for the soap. And that is just because when it comes to soap, like you really can't go wrong, but like grass scent would be gross. Nobody wants to like freshly cut grass soap. At least nobody that I know wants a freshly cut grass soap. And I think we're going to go with the Velvet Peony or the Meadow Violet because I've used the Gardenia quite a bit and I have not used these. This one is my favorite. The Peony is my favorite, but the Meadow Violet is a close second. Now, the Meadow Violet is like right in the center. So the Lancome Gardenia is really light, like really, they're all light because they're all flower scents. But this one is like really, really light. The Meadow Violet is a little bit stronger and that one smells closer to like a grass scent than the Gardenia or the Peony. But the Velvet Peony is really strong as opposed to the others. Oh my gosh. So I think we're gonna go with the Meadow Violet just because it has the most like close to like grassy scent. And we'll go with the green color really well. So both things are getting pretty close. This is melting faster. That is melting slower. There's also more wax in there than there is soap base in there. So let me explain something to you. Wax has a very high melting point. I've had it in the wax warmer on as low as it'll go, which is 95, and it is hardened. 95 does not melt the wax. It has a very, very high melting point. So it has a very high hardening point. Like, my house is 78 degrees with the fan going. And so the candle will harden very fast on 78 because that is a dramatic drop. Okay, that's over 100 degrees difference from the wax warmer. This, the water doesn't even boil. If the water starts to boil, I turn it down. So this is less than what, 112 degrees? Is that what it is? Is that the boiling point for water in Fahrenheit? Whatever it is, I don't remember. I know it's 100 degrees in Celsius because that makes more sense than anything else in the world. 0's freezing, 100's boiling. That's perfect. We should use Celsius. But yeah, this is below boiling. So it is dramatically different from that because soap has a very low melting point. So it has a very low hardening point. So when I take it and it's like a 30-degree difference, it takes forever to harden. So my soap goes in the fridge. The only reason I put candles in the fridge is if I think they are not quite hardened yet. And I want to make sure that they're hard. I'll stick them in the fridge for like 15 minutes. If they feel hard, I put them in the fridge for 15 minutes to make sure. My soap, I stick in the fridge, one, because it will not pop. If you put a candle into the fridge or the freezer, and it hardens really fast, because now it's like huge, this crazy difference. there will be air bubbles in it that will pop and it will mess up your candle. Soap will not pop. Because soap has such a low hardening point, it is hard for it to pop. Candles have a very high hardening point. Just a little tip for you. Okay, I've just stirred both things. This, I just pick up by the handle, like this, and I just swirl it. The wax warmer I actually grab physically and swirl it around because of the way it's made. I'm gonna move this. I don't like it being so close to my workstation. I'm afraid I'm gonna kill myself accidentally. So for candles, the wax warmer, now when you buy them as a set, they come with gloves. You do need the gloves because it is a metal bowl and it will burn you. The wax warmer itself isn't, but the inside comes out, and you'll see that when we pour that. So because the soap will have a color, I'm going to add the green. There we go. Just a couple drops. Okay, so I added 2 drops and then stirred and then added a 3rd drop. It is still very light green. I might add a 4th. But if you do not know how much color you want to add to your soap or your candle, do not just add as much as you think. Just, honestly, just test it out. So this is a very light green. I think I'm going to add some more. We're going to try 4. I'll let you know where we're at, and I'll let you know if we're going to try 5. So in an attempt to put just a 4th drop in, I did put a 4th and a 5th, and it still needs more. So we're going to try 6 drops now. So 6 drops looks about good. It's still going to be very light, but I don't want it to be like dark green. I want it to have like more of a green tinge. Not like a light, super light green tinge, just a green tinge, and that'll make it more enticing, and I think it'll make the designs in here pop out a little bit better. I haven't tried any white, but I know on my handmade soap, like the ones that actually say handmade, if there's no color, the words don't really pop. You need color to make the words on them pop. So, we're good with 6 drops, I think. Okay, so our soap is almost completely melted while our wax has got a way to go. So we're going to add the Meadow Violet scent. And I think we're going to do it on this one for sure. If we have more, I will decide then. So you don't want to add too much of this because you don't want the soap to come out oily. So you're just going to add like a splash or 2. Like that. Just pour in a little bit and then stop. And then you got to stir it. And smell it. Make sure that you think it has enough. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more. There we go. Okay. I have oil on my hands. There we go. Okay. And then, so I'm going to try and pour it so you guys can see the color as it comes out. So I don't know if you can tell, but it only has a slight green tinge.
It's a great way to play catch. Here, catch. Nice.
Okay. So we're going to leave that alone. We're going to turn the oven off and leave this alone because there's a tiny bit of soap left, and I'm going to show you what to do with that. Because this is all the soap I'm going to make today, I think. I have not decided yet. I might make more. But I also want to show you all this. So this is one of my soaps from last week. It came out this like neon yellow color. I was really upset. And then I have one that came out this really gorgeous blue color. And yes, there was some purple in the container, but it did not come out with the purple. It just came out blue. You see if I have a piece that's just blue. There we go. This is what it looked like on the bottom. This came off of the sides, so there was some purple. But yeah, this is what the blue looked like. And then this is what the purple looked like. So the only one I really didn't like was this one. It smells really nice, but it just, the color did not do what I wanted it to do. But yes, I do save soap. So like I have this little drop that got on the side of my mold. Oh, it fell into my soap. That's okay. I was gonna save it, but that's fine. It'll just become part of that part of that bar of soap. It's fine. So I'm gonna go check on our wax. So we have everything we need for our candle over here. I've got this mat. And that is because when you are pouring it from this thing, you're gonna need a mat because you're probably gonna spill. Got my jar with my wick and my wick stabilizer. Got my scent and my gloves. Now, the wax is not fully melted yet, which is why I have not added the scent yet. You have to, that's what I'm looking for. You have to kind of, you don't want the scent to burn off. Scented candles work the way they do because the scent burns off. When you are melting the wax, because because it's hot, if you add the scent before you pour it and you wait too long, the scent will burn off and your candle will no longer be a scented candle. But we are getting very close. It's almost melted. Now you can melt it at higher than 185. I set mine to 185 because that's what the instructions told me to do. But it goes all the way up to 257. But I keep mine at 185 because 185 is a good temperature for it. Because 185 doesn't burn it, which is very hard to do. I think it has to be higher than 257 to burn it. It doesn't reduce it, and it's pretty good at maintaining its scent. Like the scent doesn't burn off too fast. Okay, we're almost there. So the scent will start to burn off as soon as you pour it in here, but as soon as you get it into that candle holder and it drops in temperature, the scent will stop burning off. So one thing I will do while we wait for this to melt, I'm going to stick this in the fridge. Just 1 second. So I changed my mind and I stuck it in the freezer because this is almost ready. Oh, it is ready. So we're going to add just a little bit more wax to give my holder just a little bit more time. Okay, about that much. So the reason I put it in the freezer is it's cold. It'll be cold. There's my daughter. She probably wants a piece of candy. She does. Give me 1 second. I gave her fruit snacks instead of a piece of candy. But basically, the reason I put it in the freezer or the fridge, you can put it in the fridge, is because, like I told you, as soon as this enters here, it's going to start burning off. But as soon as it hits that candle holder, it will start to cool instantly. It instantly starts to cool. Now, the reason I want mine to instantly cool is because the less oil I have to use, the better, because this stuff can get expensive. But yeah, so it'll cool faster when it hits a cold holder. Now don't get me wrong, my holder wasn't hot. It's only I stuck it in the microwave, but it wasn't cold. And it will be now. Hold on, I feel like there's something poking me through my pants. There's not. I don't know. There's nothing poking me. But yeah. Anyway, it's in the freezer to cool it down to speed up the cooling process. Now, you don't want to stick the whole candle in the fridge or the freezer, like I said earlier. But the holder, being cold, will speed up the cooling process just a little bit and will cause the scent to burn off less. We're almost there. It's almost completely melted. So our wax is completely melted. So I got my jar. It's a little chilly because it was in the freezer. So what I'm going to do is I opened my wax, or my oil, sorry. I opened my oil. I'm going to put my gloves on now. And then I'm going to add my oil. Okay. Now you don't want to add too much, but you also don't want to add too little. That looks good. Okay, and then you're just gonna shake it, ooh, a little, mix it up, and pick it up. Smell it. I think it needs a little bit more, sorry. A little more oil. Okay, I think we're good. Had some oil down the side. Okay. And then pour it into my jar. Okay. Now I like to let my layers harden at a time, harden on their own. So we're gonna turn this off, let that layer harden, and then when that is hard, we will come back.